Wow, thanks so very much, our sister Eriza, for your sweet song. May the Lord God bless you and encourage you the more. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know you are tuned from various locations, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of us to tune in Matalo TV. We are live and very ready to bring to us the good news that the Lord has prepared that we may share today. It is my hope and belief that the Lord has kept you well. And it's also my hope that you're going to enjoy what you're about to release from Matalo TV. Be reminded, it is only in Matalo TV where you get educated for free. It is only in Matalo TV where you are encouraged, and it is also in Matalo TV where you receive new information on a daily basis. So this morning, and also maybe to others it's afternoon, others it's evening, I just want to welcome all of us on board, such that we may be able to work together in this journey. Remember, we have started a journey discussing issues that concerns the boy child. Yes, I want to say it again, the issues concerning the boy child. It is obvious, and it is in the public domain, that many things are going wrong on the side of the boy child, and that's why Matalo TV is coming live to your house to remind all of us that it is our duty to take care of the boy child. Yes, we have started on a journey whereby we are discussing why the boy child is becoming weak by the day. And that's where we are today. And I'm believing and trusting that you're well prepared to join the discussion, and also to join together with us even as we learn many new things. Last time I discussed with us about the foundation that the boy child has been given, and sometimes the long foundation resulting into some bad behaviors, and sometimes some wicked behaviors that are coming up in the lives of our dear boy child, or in the lives of the boy child. Now, today I want us to continue in the mentorship program, whereby we are going to take this boy child into some 6 stages of leadership, because leadership has levels, and if one does not understand these levels, the end result will be that this boy child will not be a strong leader. They will be very weak leaders, not to be able to handle themselves. And so today we are going to tackle these 6 areas, or the 6 stages of leadership. We may not be able to complete all, but we are going to start from a point. Now, what are these 6 stages of leadership? Now, the number 1 is what we call individual leadership. Number 2 is what we call the leading of the wife. Number 3, the leading of the children. Number 4, social leadership. Number 5, religious leadership. And number 6, resource management, or resource management or resource leadership. That's where we are going to dwell in today. And I believe that you're going to get enlightened, and you're going to get more of the information on how we ought to raise our sons and also our daughters in some areas. They also need to hear this, because if they don't understand this, life will be very hard for all of that, for them too. And so today, that's where we're going to begin. And before we get started, I want to give us a chance to prepare ourselves. Find yourself a good book where to write, and also a good pen. And as we are doing so, let me switch to the other side of the studio and bring to us another number. Welcome for this hot number.
Oh,
Thanks also very much, our brother Karwege, for your good song. God bless you. Be reminded that I've been talking regularly about the absentee fathers, fathers who are not careful on how to raise their sons and daughters, fathers who only provide but they are never there to raise their sons and daughters. Now, there is such a looming danger where when fathers forsake their duties and when fathers do away with mentoring of their sons, the looming danger will be here with us. And the end result will be bad enough that we cannot contain. And so before I get started, I just want to urge fathers, wherever you are, spare some time for your son, spare some time for your daughter, have a dialogue with them. Teach them the ways on how to handle themselves in life. Encourage them. Feel together with them. And and let you have some time to interact and also to help them understand many things, because many things are happening in our present time, and these kids need to be guided on how to understand such, because if we don't do so, they will discover for themselves, and whatever discoveries they will make, they'll go by that. And because they are children and they are growing up, and because they are children and they are growing up, they need to be guided on how to get into whatever information that they are feeding their minds with. They need to be guided. They need to be trained to understand the dangers that are there when they involve themselves in some wrong information, or when they gather to themselves some wrong information. That's why we need a father and a father figure in the family to guide and to correct, and above all, to teach. Now, I remember I said last time that mentoring is a process and it carries time, and sometimes it's not that enjoyable. Sometimes it's painful, because in the process of mentoring, many things do change. A child also change in their growth. They change in their development. And so in the process of mentorship, there are ups and downs, but we must always tell ourselves that we will not quit even when times are very hard, even when times when we suffer some disagreements with our sons and daughters. We need not to quit, but we need to hold on until we bring them to the other side of understanding. And so today, I just want to remind all of us, fathers who are watching me from wherever you are, that it is not too early to start with your child, whether the boy child or girl child. It is not too early to start with them. You need to understand that you are needed from their time of birth, and let you be with them. Let you grow together with them. Let you be there for them, because what many people do not understand is that the child, as much as they cannot be able to talk, or maybe they cannot be able to listen with you, whatever you deposit in their mind and also in their hearts will carry with them. They may not be in a position to respond, yes, they may not be in a position to understand it fully, but whatever information a father deposits in the mind and in the heart of a child, that one grows with them. And so that's why I'm saying it is not too early, daddy, to start with your child from birth. It is not too early, daddy, to start with your daughter or with your son from birth. Continue speaking some healthy words in their mind and also in their hearts. Let me just repeat myself here. You may not understand what you are doing at that very particular time of their early age, but whatever you speak in their mind and also in their heart will carry with them for the rest of their life. And yes, and I want just to borrow something from the Muslim community. When a child is born, it is the father who receives the child, and the father makes some declaration on what you want to see happen in the life of that child. Yes, you may look at it and maybe think they're doing some useless job, or maybe they're not getting into anything. But let me tell you, they have this understanding that the spirit of that young kid is so much alive. The spirit of that young kid is so much alive, and whatever you release in the spirit of that young kid, that information will carry with the kid. And maybe some people have asked themselves, why is it that those that are radicalized take chances to do any kind of danger? Now listen to this. They don't just start when they are adults. No, it is something that is spoken in their spirit when they are young, and that information dictates what kind of life that they are going to live. If that is what happens with the people that I've just mentioned, what would happen to a good daddy who would receive the newborn child in their hands and start speaking the words that will direct the future of these young ones? Let me tell you, there is such an impact in the word of a daddy. There is such an impact in the words of a daddy. And so we need not to waste our time. We need to maximize that time that we have and deposit in our children from their early age that which we want to see in the near future. So it is important, and I repeat myself again, it is important that you start early speaking to your child, or speaking into your child what you want them to become in the near future. If you want to see a great person in the near future, start speaking that information in them from an early age. That spirit is so much alive, and in their subconscious that information will be stored, and it is a matter of time. Once they grow up, the kind of information you released in them, that information will keep together with them and will guide them into the life that they ought to live. Now let me just give us a very common example here. We have seen it when a father pronounces a blessing over his son or his daughter. Whatever pronouncement he makes, that will guide that son or that daughter in their life. If he pronounces a curse over his son or daughter, they will be cursed. That is how powerful the words of a father are. And so this is what I'm trying to confirm to us. If the curse can damage or a grown up, what would happen to a blessing released also to a grown up? That blessing will bring some positive influence in his life and will bring some good packages in his life. Now, that is what I'm trying to communicate to us, that as we deposit, and that as we speak words of affirmation in our little kids, such words will carry with them, it will guide them, it will direct them, and it will make their future in the best way possible. You see, the words have power to create and shape the life of that child. So let's make use of those words that are contained in us, the words of blessings that are contained in us as fathers. Let's use those words and deposit them in the lives of our children, and I want to promise all of us it will be well with us, and we are not going to lose generations, but we are going to redeem our generation from the wickedness that is all over the world. And so before I get continued from where we are, allow me to switch to the other side of the studio and bring you another number. Thanks also very much, Sister Anne, for your good song. God bless you. Now, remember, we are on this very topic. That was just but an introduction on what we're about to do. Be reminded, we are on this very topic, why the boy child is growing weak by the day. Now, if the fathers are not there to raise their sons, the boy child will continue growing weak by the day. And be reminded that whatever the father ought to do in the lives of their sons, their mothers cannot do. I've always said again and again that that all good mothers can only be able to raise a boy, but it is the duty of the father to raise or to develop a man in that boy. So if we miss it from there, we miss it everywhere else. If we miss it from there, we are losing the game, and we cannot contain these young ones. So what I'm saying is, it's needed for all fathers to understand that they are needed from day one until we mature the son. They are also needed in the lives of their daughters from day one until we mature our daughters. Now get the difference here. Now the mother will take her possession, or will take responsibility to raise her daughter, to maturity. And that is the duty of the mother. And people are asking these days, why is it that girls are becoming more stronger than boys? It is because the mothers are giving their daughters the care they need, the guidance they need, the information they need, and they grow their daughters to maturity. But to be reminded, a mother can only raise a boy. So when these boys become of age, now they start to rebel, and they start doing away with the information that they get from their mothers. And that's where I've always said that is where daddy is needed to bring an extra voice. The boy is so much used to the voice of the mother, but at adolescent, he requires a stronger voice and a voice of a father. And I remember I said on another session that it is the duty of the father now to take that boy from adolescent and walk with him to maturity. And it is not an easy walk. It is, it's hard sometimes, and sometimes things will go wrong, but we must be determined to raise that young boy into a strong man who will be able to handle themselves in their future. So now today, I want to show us the danger that is there when a child or a boy child is not prepared to understand how to lead themselves or individual leadership. The moment we miss it at that point, when we are not able to train our boys to lead themselves, when we are not able to train them to lead themselves in this life, I'm telling you, there will be a problem to us, and there will be a thorn in our flesh. Listen to this. Every child that you see around, they need somebody to train. They need somebody to learn from. And they need also somebody to teach and to guide them in matters life. And so if you leave this young boy to all manner of information that they gather around, there will be a mixture of information and a mixture of reaction in this young growing up boy, because such informations sometimes are misguided, and such information they are not the right information to feed their mind. And that's why we need a father to grow them and to nurture them in the right way possible, such that whatever information they receive, they will only receive that information that will keep them well guided and well protected. And so when we come to individual leadership, it is the duty of the father to allow their sons to understand that in this world there are no many things that do happen. There are only two options that you'll always find in this world. Option number one, it is the bad things that do happen in the world, and option number two, the good things that are also in this world. So it is the duty of the father to help their son choose the good from the evil. Yes, the father, it is the duty of the father to help their sons choose the good from the evil. And the good they choose, the father would also tell their son that, my son, it is not just enough to choose the good that are there in the world. It is also important for you to understand that you must protect the good that you choose. Why? Because if you don't protect the good that you choose in the world, the evil things of the world will strike and rob you of the good values, the good morals, and the good discipline that you have chosen. So it is important that we don't assume that these kids will understand that. It is important for us to bring to them the right introduction into the matters of the world. It is very important for every father to understand that nothing just happens. When you see a building rise up, there must be a contractor, there must be people involved in building of that house. When you see a strong leader come up, there are people who are involved in raising that strong leader. And that's what I'm saying, that it is the duty of the father to tell their sons and their daughters, in this world there are only two major forces that fight around, the forces of good and the forces of evil. And so if you are able to choose the good from the evil, then you're on the right track. But that is not enough. You have not exhausted everything. That is just but the beginning. Now, choosing the right thing from the bad thing is one thing. To protect what you have chosen is another new dimension altogether. And so the father would direct his son and tell their sons and daughters, my son and my daughter, protecting what you have chosen is very hard, because there are forces of evil that will try to creep in on a daily basis. There are suggestions of the enemy that will be suggested in your mind or will be thrown in your mind, and they can deviate you from the good that you have chosen. And so the father would prepare not only his son but also his daughter to understand where to start well in life. Before I get continued, let me switch to the other side of the studio and receive another number. Thanks also very much, Mary Kifadhi, for your sweet song. God bless you. Now, it is important that I mention this. Sometimes we assume so much that things gonna go in the right way by themselves. It doesn't happen that way. When you see something that is impacting the lives of people, when you see something that is emulated by people, or something that people desire to be connected with, there are such hard work that has carried on. And so we need not to assume anything in life. neither should we assume anything in the raising up our sons and daughters. To raise a true son is hard work. To raise a true daughter is hard work. And so a father would tell their son, my son, I have helped you choose good from evil, but it is your duty to defend the good morals, the good values, the good discipline that I have helped you choose in this life. And the father would prepare this son and this daughter to understand that such will not just happen overnight. Defending or protecting the good that they have chosen will carry a number of years. It will be a process, and this process sometimes will be very painful, because you are torn between some two decisions. Sometimes you are torn between some evil and good sometimes, and you want to maintain what the daddy helped you to choose. So a son would be prepared by their father, and also a daughter would be prepared of their father, and they would be reminded that guarding what good you have chosen will cost you so much, and sometimes it will be very painful, but if you hold to the end, it will pay back. The father would remind their sons and daughters, if you hold to the end, it will pay back. But if you lose it in between, the losses that comes with such will be very painful, or the repercussion will be very painful. And so that kind of a preparation would stick in the mind of the son and in the mind of the daughter. And they would grow knowing that there is no shortcut in life. They will grow knowing that becoming real is hard work. Becoming a real daughter is hard work. Becoming a real son is hard work. Another thing the father would tell their sons and daughters, if you must become that which you desire in your heart to become, you must know how to utilize your time, because time is of importance here. Time is very important. So if you don't know how to manage your time, it does not matter what good you have chosen in life. At the end of the day, you become a loser. And you bear me witness, we have this generation today who don't care how they spend their time. I'm not here to judge them. I'm not here to condemn them. I'm only saying this generation knows not how to spend their time, because nobody prepared them to understand the importance of time in their upcoming, and also in the way that they're going to conduct themselves. If nobody teaches sons and daughters the importance of time, even when they're trying to utilize what they have chosen, I'm telling you, we become losers at the end of the day. So every son, every daughter must be trained to understand that as you choose the good morals, the good values, the good discipline, you must also choose time to be the best, to be the determining factor in your life. Because if you have the good morals but you don't know how to spend your time, you are losing the morals. If you have good values but you don't know how to spend your time, you are losing those good values. If you have some good discipline but you don't know how to spend time, you are a loser at the end of the day. So every daughter, every son must be trained by their father the importance of time, and they must be reminded that whatever time that comes your way and passes by without you making use of that time, such time is irreversible and irreplaceable. You cannot reverse that time, neither can you replace that time. Once time passes by, it is gone and gone forever. So the father would tell their sons, for you to have some good impact in life, you must know how best to utilize the God-given time. And they would also be reminded that time is one of the precious commodity that God gave to every man. And allow me to borrow from Psalms 90 and verses 12, because this one will enlighten our understanding. The Bible says, according to NIV version of the Bible, verses 12, that help us to number our days aright, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. So every son who is grown not to understand how to utilize their time, at the end of the day, they may end up in the wrong direction. Every daughter who is raised up without knowing the importance of time, they may end up losers in this life. So I was just saying, and I was just giving us some good examples. I'm a man who travels a lot, but one thing that scares me is to find almost in every country, young people are misusing time. Young people are not careful how they handle their time. They may go for bash and the like, and they don't care about tomorrow. They may go for other funny things, but they don't care about tomorrow. You find them in jobless corners where they keep chatting. And like I would give an example with my country. In my country, we have what we call the mirrors. These young boys chew mirror from morning to evening or from morning to night, and they are also joined by our little daughters. This one is crazy. This one is not adding up. When you don't know how to spend your time, my son and my daughter, I don't care what decisions you are trying to make. I don't care what good values you have. I don't care what good discipline you have. At the end of the day, you will become a loser. So it is important to understand, for you to benefit from the good morals and from the good values and from the good discipline, you must know how to follow. You must know how to make use of that time that God has brought into your disposal. Now, another thing, a father would tell their daughters and their son, if they would be told of their father, it is not just enough to choose and to protect, but you should now move from the two stages and come to the third stage. And which is this third stage? The third stage is the one that you grow what you have chosen. And anybody of us who understand growth, we understand that growth sometimes is painful, because there are things that you must do away with for you to allow the right growth. If there are things that you must allow to do away with, such that you may develop in the right way. And so a father would give their son a very good example, and he would tell their son and daughters, now when you go into the shamba to plant some seed, there is that process of waiting, and after some days there is what we call germination, and after germination there is also that period of weeding. Now a father would tell their son, yes, the same way, once you receive the information, it is like a seed that you have planted in your mind and also in your heart. Now, this seed will not just remain there idle. This seed will germinate. Yes, that's another process. And this seed will start to develop with time. And now, when it comes to the area of developing, it requires that we add more effort and we become more cautious on how to develop that seed that is growing up. So there is a lot of protection that comes with a developing seed or with a growing seed. Sometimes as a farmer you go spraying, sometimes you go applying fertilizer, and because you want to see some good yields at the end of the day, you must labor until you see the yields. And the father would tell their sons and daughters, now for you to have the good yields at the end of the day, day, you must not lose focus of what you're doing. You must not lose focus of your values. You must not lose focus of your good morals. You must not lose focus on your good behaviors, good discipline. You must stick by that until you see the yield. Now listen to this. Back to Psalms 90 and verses 12. Help us to number our days aright, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. In other words, if you don't know how to spend your time to developing yourself and to making yourself to the man or to the daughter you want to become, you may become a loser, because the opposite of the heart of wisdom is the heart that is full of foolishness. Now listen to this. The opposite of the heart of wisdom is the heart of foolishness. So if you don't know how to spend your time and how to build yourself through time, at the end of the day you become foolish. Remember, the heart is the store of everything that is about you. So whatever is stored in your heart will guard your life, will direct your life, and will make you what you have chosen to become. So if you don't know how to manage your time as a son, as a daughter, some days you become foolish. And don't ever forget that. I'm not trying to condemn you. I'm only trying to educate you, because you have a long way to go. Me, I'm talking out of experience. You are trying to experiment. Listen to this. There is this huge difference between speaking out of experience and you trying to experiment. Now, myself, I'm not trying to experiment on what I'm talking to us. I'm giving you the wisdom on how to live a life. And so the father would tell their son, when the plant is fully grown, the plant is expected to yield some fruit, or to give some to bring forth some fruit. Yes. Now, as you mature your values, as you mature your morals, as you mature your behaviors, as you mature your discipline, people will expect so much from you. And this is where many young people lose the game. When they are grown up and they have nothing to show, they start to shrink. That is the danger. When they have grown up and they have nothing to show, they start to shrink. When they have grown up and they have nothing to show, they start to hide from reality. Listen to this and listen carefully. Hiding from reality will not make you a good person. Shrinking in life does not make you any better person. And that's why Matalo is here to help you where you went wrong. I am here as a daddy, as a father, to correct you in love. Where you went wrong, I'm here as a daddy to show you the way to go. And that's why Matalo cannot keep quiet when things are going wrong. Matalo TV is your TV. Make it your channel, whereby you'll be getting the right information that will help you grow to becoming that which you aspire to be. Now listen to this. A father would tell their sons and daughters, when the plant is fully grown, there are a lot of expectation. If you have planted potatoes and they are grown, we expect to see some potatoes. If you have planted some tomatoes and they have grown, we expect to see some tomatoes. If you have planted some maize and they are fully grown, we expect to have some maize. Now listen to this. A father would tell their daughters and their sons, when you grow up, my son, people will expect so much from you. Even your parents will expect so much from you. Your siblings will expect so much from you. And so when you are failing them, you are not only failing yourself. Now, when you fail, you are not only failing yourself, but you are failing the whole family and the whole community. That is what our young people do not understand. That when they fail, do not only fail themselves, they fail their families and they fail the community. Because that fruit that is produced by whatever plants that you plant do not only feed the owner. That crop and that fruit that comes forth from the plants that you have planted, it's meant to feed not only the owner but also the family and the community. And it is the same thing with every young boy, every young girl who is growing up. You must understand that the family expects so much from you, the community expects so much from you, and the nation expects so much from you. You are on demand. And that's why in individual leadership, we teach every son and every daughter to be able to stand on their 2 feet without leaning on the left or on the right. Yes, every son and every daughter who is born of a mother and a father must understand that before you get involved into other fields of life, you must study to understand how best you can stand on your 2 feet. And that is what I'm introducing to you. That is what I'm bringing to us, to understand that before long you will be expected to stand on your 2 feet and not lean on your daddy and not lean on your mother. And by so doing, you are becoming a true leader. Now, a father would tell their sons and daughters, every tree that bears fruit has so many enemies. And so a father would tell their daughters, it is not so easy to contain the fruit that you are trying to produce in life. It will be attacked by your close friends. It will be attacked by the enemies. It will be attacked by the passers-by. And you'll create so many enemies to yourself. And so a son sometimes would demand to understand, why is it that I must be exposed to all these challenges? And the father would tell their sons and daughters, that's a very genuine question to ask. And listen to this. If God must produce a true leader in you, the true leader that you expect to see and the true leader that you dream to become must pass through some fires, must pass through some troubled moments, must pass through some storms, must pass through some challenges of life for you to be hardened in order for you to be able to stand on your 2 feet and not wavering. That is very important. So whenever you see many battles come your way, never run away from battles. That is one of the tools that prepares a big heart in you. When you find storms coming your way, don't ever run away from storms. This another tool that God uses to bring out of you a strong leader. When you find yourself going through some fires, don't run away from the fire. God is burning away all manner of impurities that are in you. He is cleansing you to become a pure leader from inside of you. When you find yourself in multiple challenges, don't run away. God is only making sure that you have no defect in yourselves, that you have no false assumption in yourself, but you are so lean. And that's why those kind of hardships and troubles must come to you as a leader. Now, how many daddies prepare their sons and daughters in such a level? Yes, every son must understand this, that it is not that easy to make something out of life. You can live and make nothing out of life. It is not easy to live, to make something out of life. Making something out of life calls for determination, calls for seriousness, and calls for focus. You must be so focused on what you want to achieve. So the father would tell their son that challenges and battles of life demand strength and courage. So that is where a father would teach their sons how to handle themselves in the midst of opposition and in the midst of battles. He would tell their sons, my son and my daughter, for you to become a real leader, it is required of you to have some strength and some courage. Listen to this. Such strength and courage is only developed through storms of life. Such courage and strength is only developed through the challenges that you go through the trials and the temptations that comes your way, through the pains of life. That is where courage and strength is built from. Yes, let me just come back to our societies today. We have men and women who cannot make real men and real women of substance. Yes, why are our boys wasting their time? It is because they cannot handle the battles of life. Anybody who cannot handle the battles of life, they shrink back, they draw back, they retreat. Yes. Don't ask many questions. Why are they so much indulged in illicit brew? It is because when the reality, came their way, they could not handle themselves. When they faced the real life and they were not prepared to stand in their individual capacity, when realities came their way, they had no strength, they had no courage to hold themselves in the midst of that challenge. And what happens after that? They will deviate from the right way and look for ways and means of which bring in themselves some false hope. That is the truth of the matter. Whatever they go for will create in them some false hope. Why do they go for drugs? Because they want to, to feel themselves, acceptable. They want to feel that they want the drug to boost them in order for them to be able to face the challenges, or in order for them to be able to cope with what is happening. Listen to this, my son and my daughter. No drug can perfect you. No drug can make you any better. Any drug that you apply in your system will destabilize you, will confuse you, will bring you down at the end of the day. Any illicit brew that you allow in your life will mess up with your life, will destroy your life, and you'll die a miserable person. So what am I trying to bring to our attention? What I'm trying to bring to our attention is this: that the many things that are happening in our circles, they are only happening because we never took enough time to prepare these daughters and these sons. Once we discover that, are we supposed to run away from the reality? No, it is not too late to bring them back. That is what you need to understand. It is not too late to bring them back. If they are misbehaving, we correct them. If they are feeling they cannot handle life, we take them into life lessons and we teach them again. If they are trying to run away from the reality, we must force them back and face the reality, because that is the only option that we have at our disposal. So it is not easy, but we are going to fight until we deliver them from the hands of the enemy. So a father would continue and tell their sons that whenever you find yourself alive and kicking, you must always remember, for you to achieve your dreams, it's a long journey. For you to achieve your aspiration, it's a long journey. For you to achieve the vision that you have, is a long journey. For you to achieve anything that is about life, it's a long journey. And so a father would tell their sons that what must bring benefit in your life, what must build your life in a positive way, you'll have to labor for such. We have a generation today that want to press some buttons and see things happen. Now, life is not about assumption. Life is not about pressing some buttons like you are in a computer and you're trying to press some buttons to have a program prepared for you. No. It is not a microwave. Life is not a microwave. When you see yourself achieving a dream, you'll have fought so many battles, you'll have injured yourself so much, you'll have failed 1,000 times, but never ever quit. So these are some of the informations that are needed in the lives of our sons and daughters, for them to study, to understand what it means to contain in themselves that individual leadership. So becoming your own leader is not easy. Becoming your own leader, I want to repeat myself again, it's not easy. You need to be mentored into that. You need to be directed into that. You need to be taught on how to go about it. You need to be trained on how to go about this. And so, once again, I come back to my fellow fathers. Fathers, wherever you are, don't get tired of this. Yes, it is not easy sometimes to raise the adolescent, but that is why you are a father. Any son who arouse themselves to sit under their father's instruction, some days they will be great sons in the land. Any daughter who submit to the instruction of their fathers and mothers, some days they will be great daughters in the land. And so, wherever you are, fathers, please borrow this information and start to apply it on the life of your daughter, on the life of your son. Now, somebody would say, how true are we that it will work? I'm not promising heaven here. I'm saying, as a matter of fact, some of the cases are like they are gone cases. They are beyond repair. But listen to this. Whatever information brought them down there, you can change that information by feeding them with the right information. Because what brought them down there is the wrong information. So I'm saying, if we start pumping in them the right information has power to raise them again from their defeats, to raise them again from their failures, and bring them on the right track. So, I don't want to feed you with so much information that you cannot handle, but I want to promise all of us that we are together in this journey. Make Matalo TV your channel all the time. And for information, I don't want to wind up. I don't want to wind up before I mention this. That whatever information I'm bringing to us, this kind of an information is not only meant to benefit you. This kind of an information is meant to benefit the whole world. So if you link with us through Facebook, please invite many of your friends who are on Facebook and share with them. Help us share this information with as many people as possible. If you are following us through YouTube, please urge many to subscribe in order for all of us to be able to get educated through this information. Those of us that are following us through Twitter and Instagram, do the same. Let you not be mean. We are trying to heal this world that is rotting at a high speed. Now, to those that are following us through TikTok, please do the same. Let us heal this world. Don't be mean with this information. Give it out. Yes, I give it out also myself for free. I don't sell this information. I give it for free. Please also yourself, don't be mean with this information. Spread it around. Let many of our sons and daughters hear of this, because if we don't know these 6 stages of leadership, my brothers and my sisters, this world is becoming wicked, will be becoming wicked by the day this world becomes so corrupt that we will not have any place where we can call home. So we need to educate our sons, daughters, and them that are mothers and fathers who were not educated. Please take this information and start practicing what you are hearing at Talo TV. God bless you and God do you good. I want to promise all of us it will be well. It is not all lost. If some bad information brought us this far where we are, some good information can restore us back. God bless you as we tune to the other side of the studio and receive another number.